Hey, can you hear me?
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi.
How was your day today?
Pretty good. Trying to get this lighting right.
That's all right. Take your time. It's fine.
All right.
I ended up getting like this like ring. So like, did they sell for like lighting and stuff like that? You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah, I know
talking
what you're
about?
talking about. The ring light.
Yeah, I was like, and originally I didn't have it, but then I was like, no, I kind of need it because this room's kind of dark anyway. So my office area. So figured I'd go ahead and bite the bullet and get it. So,
Yeah, we have
anyways.
one and it broke. We broke it.
How's so where are you located at?
We're out in Humble, Texas, but basically Houston, Texas.
Houston. Okay. How's everything there now with like the virus and all that?
Everything looks like they went just right back to normal despite them wearing masks. Like I went to the nail shop today and it was kind of weird. They had like these plastic clear like little panels in front
Uh-huh.
of the seats. So, oh, and the gyms, they have the same thing too. So it's just kind of,
How long were the gyms open? Like how long have they been open now?
I think it's been about a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
I think, oh yeah, it was the 18th that they opened.
Mm-hmm.
So,
How did you how did you do while they were all closed? Like what did you end up doing?
um, we were not doing home workouts.
See.
we were we were going to a friend's gym or one of the gyms were open still,
Uh-huh.
garlic barbell, for their own
Yeah.
customers, but we were
So,
going like 3 times a week, at least.
yeah. Yeah, but I mean that's a decent amount of time when nobody else is going at all. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right.
3 times is a lot. Like, because most people weren't doing anything. I
Yeah.
originally, like when all this hit, I went and tried to like get like as much equipment and stuff for the garage as I could, but like I was at that point where people started buying everything up and then selling it at a much higher price, you know? So
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, Lee, I want this in my garage, whatever this is. And then, but it was so expensive. I was like, I'm not gonna pay like, $100 for the 45 pound, plate. Like there's no way
Yeah.
I'll
it,
just do
it just sucks
push-ups.
because a lot of us thought this was going to just blow over, and we didn't
Right.
know that having a home gym is so important to us.
Yeah. 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 Do you live in like a apartment or a house?
Yeah, we live on the third floor of an apartment,
Oh, so
so
you don't even have like really an option to even have one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's no good. That's no good. How did you get into like training and fitness in general?
Well, before I lived in Houston, I was living in Orlando, Florida, and
Okay.
I was there for art school. And then when I couldn't afford it anymore,
Yeah.
a lot of things in life started happening.
Yeah.
Bills and not being able to afford shit. So I started working at LA Fitness, and I got surrounded by all these bodybuilders, and they telling me how to do this and how to do that, and I was like 119 pounds at the time. So I was like, okay, I won't do this, I won't do that, or whatever.
Hmm.
And I just ran with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
became my life. So
Was there like was there one particular person that like kind of took you under their wing, or did you just kind
uh-uh.
of figure it out and then go from there?
I kind of like just grabbed whatever information I could from a bunch of different
Hmm.
people. So, and then like I learned about these bodybuilding shows, these expos and stuff, and
Yeah.
then it got it more fun, and
Uh-huh. What led you to do like art? Like were you all like what kind of art do you do?
Oh, I was super nerd growing up.
Yeah.
I used to paint, but I was
Uh-huh.
in school for computer animation. So
Okay, that's so cool. Do you do any of that now or not really?
no, because the software is like thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure,
So,
for
but I
sure.
always said I might finish online just because Full Sail is all the way back in Orlando and they could do
Yeah,
online classes. But
yeah,
it was really hard, like
yeah.
because it's a school where you only have like 2 classes a month, and you have to be
Oh,
done with the classes in that month. So
gotcha,
it's
gotcha.
accelerated basically.
Yeah, yeah. It was like high end, high level. school,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
the best of the best type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was in school with a bunch of 18-year-olds, and they think I'm 18. I'm like, no, I'm like 24. They're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, you're old.
That's so funny that you say that. Like my wife, so she's originally from Florida too, and
Mhm.
she decided to go back to nursing school, and she's
Yeah.
like in their mid-20s, and so it's funny, like, because she runs into the same thing where she's like in her mid-20s, and then like all her classmates are like 19, just out of high school, 18, and it's just such a difference in like mentality, like
Mhm.
it's tough. It's tough,
Yeah.
but what can you
You
do?
gotta learn how to blend in. You kind of
That's
just.
it. That's it. Well, you got good genetics. You look really young, so this.
Yeah, that's a blessing, because I'm like, I cannot believe I'm 31 right now. Like, I'm
Yeah.
still like, I still can't believe how old I am. So
Time flies, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So when you when you started competing, like what division did you step on stage in?
My first show I did figure, and
Okay.
a lot of people thought I was gonna do bikini, but for some, like, I made this choice because my legs just, they're the hardest to chop up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they just was not coming down. So I couldn't do bikini. I just didn't feel like I was right for bikini.
Yeah. Is that so? Are you saying like your legs were too big for bikini? That's
Yeah.
essentially, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
because
those girls are really, really petite. Like,
yeah.
so.
Yeah. For my first show, they would have just like automatically been like, nah, no, you're not small enough for this division. So I would have definitely got booted out. No chance.
That's funny. So so you went on as figure, and where are you like after that? Like so you do your first show. You don't have your pro card yet, correct?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So like what was the progression? Did you do a few more shows? Like, in what division are you like now competing in?
I haven't. We were supposed to be competing this year, but due to coronavirus, that's all that came at a slow pace. But right now we're not even show shopping.
Gotcha.
So right now, since that last show, I just been building muscle basically.
Okay. So when was your last show?
That was in 2018.
2018.
October.
So a little while ago.
Yeah.
So, but
and I was building that whole time, and I was ready for 2020, and then
and 2020 like railroaded everybody.
Yes.
Imagine, imagine if you're a pro and you're like, or like you came in like top 5 in the Olympia or something like that, and you had to, you don't have any way to train. Although I think those people probably, I would imagine
they
find a way. They probably have somebody. Yeah. So
they got a coach that's looking for something for them to do.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Did so I don't know if you answered this. So are you still in figure right now? Like, is that what you're doing?
Oh, I am in between figure and wellness since the wellness category.
So that's what I was going to ask you, because you were talking about your legs and everything like that. Like, wellness would be, I would think, perfect, for something like that. Yeah.
But the competition is deep. I mean, the Olympia winner for wellness, that was crazy how she looked. She looked crazy. She looked.
Now, are you saying you're saying Olympia or the Arnold? Which one are you?
Oh, the Arnold. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she looked crazy. She looked like she could have went in any in between categories. Like, she could have, So
I saw that girl before on Instagram, like before this whole wellness thing came to the United States, and I was like, man, she's in really good shape. Like, that's a great look. And so when she won that show, I was like, that's a no-brainer. I mean, that like I have a feeling she's probably going to own that division for a little while. So until somebody else comes along, But it seems like a lot of like the Hispanic countries, like they dominate those. That division.
Yeah.
Probably just
But I thought I tried out. Probably not too many females that's hopping in wellness.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I get like I hear different mixed reviews about like accepting wellness into the IFBB. Like some people are really for it, and then like some people are just like not so much. It's like, what do you think? I imagine you think it's probably a pretty good idea to bring it in.
I think it's always good to bring something new to a sport, especially this one. I mean, it's not on mainstream TV. Like, why not? Like who cares? Like, we're already being judged for being buff. Like, who cares?
Right. It's kind of like, well, I mean, I think that they were referring. So like, what I don't like is they were referring to some of the wellness girls or that division, I should say, as being like a division where they don't like diet that hard, like where they're kind of not as lean. I'm sorry, go ahead. You were going to say something.
Well, not too many people want to diet that hard. And they look great. Like, that's the crazy part. They look like they look like they can go run on the track and beat Usain Bolt. Like, that's how like strong they look.
Right. See, and that's the thing. Like when I was looking at them, I mean, they look pretty lean to me. Like, you know, I didn't see. I mean, their legs are definitely a lot bigger, but they look pretty lean. So I don't know where that's coming from. Like, have you noticed, like, I've been talking about this with kind of some of the other people that I had on the show. Like, have you noticed the divisions since you started competing, like divisions getting bigger, like people across the board getting bigger?
Oh, the girls for sure definitely have gotten bigger. Like, they're getting insanely larger. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I when I did my show, there was at least 3 girls that looked like they should have like already been not in their first show. Like, they should have been at nationals. Like, that, like, I was like, oh, the competition is steep right now. Y'all looking like y'all been doing this for a while. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that was like a shock. You probably were expecting people like, you know, at your level, and then you come across and then they're like, you know, like you said, they look like they're ready to be at nationals.
Yeah. So, but like for us guys, I mean, I've been to a couple of the shows. I mean, it's really hard to tell because, you know, I expect a man to be large.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. It's hard. You're probably not paying attention that close enough to know. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. That's kind of like the whole thing about, you know, everybody's saying that everybody's getting so big that especially with the women, you get to a point where you're kind of like, you lose that femininity, especially like at the larger sizes. You know, they brought back bodybuilding. Like, what do you think about that? Do you think it's a good idea to bring back female bodybuilding?
I mean, some people just come for that type of stuff for those shows anyway. I mean, that's how they make their money anyway, for the shows. Like, why not? Why take away something that's making the money? I mean, if I know a lot of people are like dying because of what they're taking and stuff like that, but I don't really know how to like deal with that because I don't take any of that stuff. So it's like, you know, hard conversation right there.
So are you 100% natural?
Yeah.
You are. So, okay. So do you use like any, and you know, disclose however much you want to disclose, obviously, but, like, what about like for dieting? Do you take anything for dieting when you
for sure. Taking something for dieting, but not like, I'm not taking any type of steroids.
Not
or
anabolics.
Like that. Yeah. I'm taking like a lot of supplements, like natural supplements, just to, you know, get it off as much as possible. So
how, like, and do you feel like that's like enough? Do you feel pressure to start going forward with it, pushing the envelope, or no?
No, I don't feel pressured. Since, you know, doing the first show, I know what it takes to get lean and shredded. I had a hard time, like with the cardio. That was my hardest part of prep, the cardio. I didn't want to wake up at 5 a.m. every day and cardio for 45 minutes and then go to work and then try to not eat a donut because they got them at work and then come home and train and I'm tired and I want to go to sleep, but I can't, you know.
Yeah. It's tough because it's like when I was I was working at this other job that I had, and every time on the way there was like a Dunkin' Donuts there, and it
Yeah.
was so hard to not stop and get a donut and get some coffee, like some iced coffee or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes I did it and sometimes I didn't. I don't know. It was 50-50, you know.
I'm gonna say I may have 1 or 2 donuts during prep, but I was counting my macros. So
Yeah.
But yeah, the cardio part was that was my big defeat. If I could have just did that, I probably would have came placing a lot better.
Yeah.
But
where did you place, if you don't mind me asking?
I got 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wasn't lean enough.
But it's your first show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's not terrible at all. You know, your first show. It's kind of like a learning experience, you know.
Yeah, it definitely was. You know, I wanted to make sure my tan was right. I mean, a lot of people do the tans at the show. If you know someone that does tanning, that make sure you look right, then I'll probably do them.
Yeah.
You know?
They do like spray tans?
Yeah.
They spray you?
Yeah, you kind of want to make sure the tan is right because that's part of it too.
Yeah.
So.
That's so funny. Like my wife doesn't watch as many like shows as I do. So it's always like odd for her because sometimes you'll see people that are like white and you see people that are black and they look exactly the same. And like, because the hands are so dark, you know, like it's hard to even know like what somebody is. So it's strange for somebody who isn't into bodybuilding or doesn't because those tans are very dark. Like, you know, you tell a regular person like, oh, a tan, they're thinking like, you know, like a tan you get like when you step out in the sun, not like, you know, not
like a bodybuilding tan.
Right.
Those tans are much different.
Yeah. It's insane. Yeah. But yeah, tan makes all the difference because it's like, you know, you could be just as like lean and look good as the other guy. But if you got a bad tan, you know, they'll ruin you.
Yeah, it ruins everything. Especially, and then the thing about makeup, you got to make sure your face
that's right.
matches your tan, because otherwise you just got a white face.
Oh, I've seen so many of those. Like, come on.
Like, unfortunately, you have to go get some makeup a little darker.
Yeah. That always looks so bad when you got like this ghost face and then this dark body. Like, oh man,
it's like your head is just.
Yeah. Like, it's like floating up there. Oh, that's I always would want my face spray tan too, but not all of them do that. I don't do that. Or you can get a makeup artist that knows how to match your face. So it's like the one sport that I know of that people do like strictly because they love it. And the reason I say that is because it costs so much more to compete than it does, than you get anything out of it. I mean, obviously, like you have a tremendous following, you know, like I have your page pulled up. So you get something like that, maybe like help with that. But as far as like actual winning and prizes and money, like you do in other sports, it's like, it's not there. It's just not there, you know?
It's just, because it's not mainstream. That's what I think. If it was mainstream and everyone was into it, like football, then it will probably be a better payout, like, to be honest. But we pay a lot of money for these shows, you know, especially a lot of time in the gym. I mean, we feel like the gym is our, like, I don't know if it's to everyone, but I know for me, it's my comfort zone. It's my safe space. It's where I'm at peace. Like, it's like, it's almost like my little baby, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, and it's not like I don't do anything else. It's just that just being able to lift some weight and sweat a little bit, and I know it's good for me. And then, you know, I just feel like I did a job every day. So that's just one part of the bodybuilding that I believe is why we love it. And then we look great. We look great once we put in all the work and we feel good about it. And then, you know, Instagram kind of opened that window to where it was like so popular at one time. I don't know about now so much now, but like I remember when the explosion happened and I only had like 8,000 followers at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And people start saying, oh, I follow you, you know,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
great,
yeah.
you're this and that. And I'm like, I haven't even done a bodybuilding show yet.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you definitely came up from 8,000 followers, that's for sure.
Yes.
So yeah, that's like you said, like are you one of those people that like if you miss a day of working out, it kind of like throws your day off?
I'm really hard on myself. I'm getting
Yeah.
on my boyfriend's tail about it
Uh-huh.
too. I'm like, did you work out yesterday or did you skip like 2 days in a row already? Like you need to go to gym.
Yeah. And then
Like,
he's like, what? Then he's like, what do you mean? Like, what are you
like,
trying
come
to
on,
say? Like, you?
I just want to chill. Come on, like, come
Yeah,
on. Yeah, like, nope, you need to
that's
go.
funny. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I'm not as harsh now, especially with everything that's going on. But
Man.
before, yeah, I think I was going like almost every day, and then when I would listen to my body and tell me, you need a rest day, you need to chill out.
Mhm.
So.
How does your prep generally like work? So like let's, and I know you just said you did that one show, but like let's say like in your mind. So first of all, let me ask you this before we go into that. Like, are you prepping yourself?
Oh, for that show, my boyfriend did it.
Okay.
He did my prep. I was actually going to get with a coach this year, but you know, all this stuff happened.
It didn't happen. So you plan on whatever show you do, you're probably going to get with a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it feels much better instead of you doing everything yourself. It feels better when you have somebody telling you like, you know, don't eat this, and they look at your body and they see what changes you need to do or whatever, instead of you just all in your head, because you get to a point where you get that prep brain. I don't know if anybody ever talks to you about.
I'm sure. Yeah.
You get that prep brain where you kind of just, especially women, because we get all into our feelings and how we feel and what we think, and we're like, we think we ugly or we too skinny or nothing looks right.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have a coach.
Yeah. And every day is probably different, right? You wake up and you're like, I look good. And then like next day you're like, oh, I look terrible. And it's like, nothing really changed, you know? So, but it's all in your mind, you know? Gotta have to push through that. So you're going to get with a coach. Do you have like an idea like of what you're gonna, so you were working, putting on muscle. Do you have an idea of like what you're gonna like be focusing on? Like, is there a body part that you're like gonna be stressing more than others?
I've been stressing more of the shoulders right now. It took a lot to get to where I'm at right now. Like my biceps actually took a short time. I thought they were gonna take forever, and I was like, you know, down on myself a lot. I was like, oh, like they're not growing. Like, what is going on? And they finally just came out of the blue. Like, I was just curling chins at the time too. And then I always had shoulder problems because my rotator cuff, I used to play volleyball, and I hurt it, and it just always irritated. So right now it's the shoulders, trying to get them to look more, you know.
Gotcha.
Brighter. I don't know what's the term.
Yeah. No, I got what you mean.
I'm trying to look like fitness beauty out here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it takes work, it takes practice, but you're definitely like on your way, you know. So what are you thinking? I mean, as far as like the shows, I know, you know, you said you don't have like anything like in mind. Do you have a month in mind? Like what month you're hoping to compete in, or like how long are you planning to wait before you step on stage?
Oh, next year. If next year will probably be the last. Like I'll wait till next year if I'm gonna wait, because it was supposed to be this year, and now like whatever, you know. It's gonna be Hunger Games for a show right now. Like I don't want to pay all this money, and like I don't even have a real chance. Like
right. So you want to make sure you pick a good show that you can, you know, that you can do well in, and everything. That makes sense.
So next year for sure. This year just seems like it'll be too hard.
You're gonna cut your losses. So what are your, like, what's your, if you don't mind me asking, and this might be, this subject might, if we were in person, you might, you know, punch me in the face, but what is your weight on stage and off stage?
Oh, what is my weight on stage and off stage?
Yeah, like what do you fluctuate at?
Like now I fluctuate. I hate this. I fluctuate like 145, 140. And then like one day I'm like 150 pounds. I'm like, oh my God, what the heck happened? What did I eat? It's just water weight. I can hold a lot of water for some reason. So, but on stage, I think I got to 125.
So that's, I mean, you're like, difference between stage and off is like what, like 20 pounds or so?
Yeah, 20 pounds or so.
Yeah. That's not, I mean, that's not terrible. That's your prep is what, how long is your preps usually, like, or your one prep? 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12?
I want to do 8 weeks now. I did 16 weeks and it was the roughest 16 weeks ever, like for the first show, because my boyfriend's like, you're gonna do 16 weeks. I don't know. You can't do like a short prep. I'm like, why not?
Why did he think 16 weeks? So you can go slower?
So
like
I just
into
go slower, like ease into it.
Yeah.
But it was just taking so long, and I was like, I don't want to eat like this anymore.
Yeah, that's the trade-off, right? Like, it's like you can do a longer prep, but that means that you're longer in the prep, and then you can do a short prep, but it's like, but you have to go, hard on that.
You gotta go balls to wall.
That's it. It's like, it just depends like what kind of person you are. Personally, like I would rather do a shorter prep and go harder, but that just depends. So anyway, does your boyfriend have like anything planned out? Or is he in the same boat as you as far as like competing?
I think we're both in the same boat. We're kind of waiting for this coronavirus stuff to blow over and the world to get back to normal, because he's a balls to wall type of person. He don't want to be like, interrupted or have an issue where he can't go to the gym or he can't do this or whatever. And when he's in a prep, he's in it, like he's zoned out, and he's a morning person. So I'm not.
What do you do for work?
Huh?
What do you do for work, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, right now, I'm unemployed. Before COVID-19, I was working in logistics.
Okay.
And it was like a slow flow of no shipments, because China is like our number one shipment, and it was just no work. It was just like, you can work a half day, and then it was like, don't come back in.
Oh man, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's terrible. Like what? So like what do you got? Do you have plans like as far as like looking for work or anything down the pipeline?
Of course. It's still there. It's just, this slow process of getting back to, normal. So.
So they haven't like let you go. They just like basically told you right now you can't work because there's not any work.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is, I mean, money wise is the same thing, but that's terrible. Yeah. Like where I work, one day they just, laid off about half the company, and thankfully I wasn't affected, but a lot of my friends and people that I work with were, and that's it's tough. Like, it's like, I understand their point of view, because it's like, you can't keep all these people if there's not,
no work,
nothing to do, but it sucks if you're like trying to pay your bills, and, like it's kind of puts you in such a like mental crushed state, so anyways. So like it on your page, I noticed that you said you're coach. Like, how does that work for you? Like, how do you get your clients? Like, what is it mostly competitors, a lifestyle, that kind of?
It's whatever they want. They just want to lose weight. I basically create a plan for them, specifically for them, after they answer these questions that I need to know about them. Because people will DM me questions and it's so like vague. I'm like, I need to do this. I need to know your weight. I need to know your medical history. I need to know all this information before we even get there. So you can sign up, and I'll work with you. I have no problem working with anybody, whether it's male or female or old or young. It's just whatever they want to do. And if it's, something I know I can help them with.
Yeah. So you don't mind working with competitors, or would you rather just work with?
I would rather send them to my boyfriend because he's much better at it. But if they want to work with me, I'll have no problem with it.
Cool. Interesting. So if somebody wanted to like reach you, like how would they do that? Like, what's the best way to contact you?
Email, or on that website that's on there.
Okay.
Oh, it's not on there actually. I got like that clothing line, but it's on the it's on one of those inside the little circle on the front.
I got you. So what I'm gonna do, is I'm actually gonna tag all of your contact info to this video at the bottom, and guys, if you wanna check her out, like it'll be tagged at the bottom of this video.
Okay.
So awesome. So one thing I was gonna ask you, what about your family? How do they feel about your bodybuilding and fitness in general?
At first they didn't care too much about it. Like my family, like I'm the only like fit person in the family. Like they were fit when in their younger days, but I'm like the only fit one. Like
the only one left. Like
the only one that's like serious about it.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying like none of them work out, but I'm pretty sure like if you think of anyone in the family, it's me.
Right.
They didn't care too much for it at first, and you know, as it kind of grew on them, especially after I did my show, they was kind of like, wow, like, dang, you look great, you look amazing, like how, like, you know. My brother and his wife came to my show, and they were really excited and they were really proud. My brother's like, I can't get my stomach that flat, so you know, it was a culture shock for them. For sure. You know, it's not something they see every day.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it's a little different.
Are they originally from Texas or?
Yeah,
they are.
But majority of my family's in Louisiana.
In Louisiana. Okay, I gotcha. Gotcha. So what made you make the move to Texas?
Oh, I'm from Texas.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. So
I went to Florida and I lived there for 5 years. I didn't want to leave.
I'm telling you, Florida is amazing. I love Florida. We have tentative plans within the next few years to try to like move down to Florida. My wife is from like the Tampa area, so we're hoping somewhere around there because my in-laws are kind of around that area. So
yeah,
man, I would love it. I love the beach. I love the sun, you know.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. I mean, Texas is pretty sunny too, right? Or no, not so much.
Okay, people always think like Texas and Florida got like the same type of climate. It's like no, it's not the same. Florida has like a nicer breeze, and the sun is different. Like you can be outside and you can get a nice tan.
Yeah.
Texas, this heat is different. This is suffocating heat. It's like you in a sauna like all day.
I got you. It's like that dry heat.
Yeah, you stand out for 5 seconds and you sweat like hard. So yeah, it's a little different.
you should make your way down to Florida again. I mean, you know, prices are good there.
I already did, because I have like over 20 girlfriends there. So I went right before the whole coronavirus thing shut down. Yeah. Like everything. I was there for St. Patrick's Day because it was my best friend's birthday.
So yeah, you make your way down there. Yeah.
Yeah. Every now and then I try to get, you know.
Yeah. It like rejuvenates me. Like I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're landlocked, and there's no water, and it's like it's so what people often think is like, oh, it doesn't get hot here. It gets over 100 degrees here too. So it's like it gets hot, and it's like and we have nothing to like, no other benefit. Like we don't got no ocean, no nothing, you know. So it's like, man, I love going down there to Florida. So, but anyways, yeah. Cool. Well, hey, it was Jazmond. It was great talking to you. I appreciate you coming on the show. So
no problem.
Yeah, it was, and I wish you all the best. I think you should go to wellness, but you know, you decide for yourself.
Honestly, I don't know until I cut all the way down. It's gonna be a last minute decision.
Yeah. You can do both, can't you? Can you jump in both divisions?
I can jump in both. It depends on what I feel though. Yeah. You know, you never know until you really cut down all that body fat and see the lines and stuff like that.
Right. Gotcha. All right. Well, I'll keep up with you, and I'll see how you do. So hopefully you do well. All right. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.